Hey YouTube, how you doing? This is Dave Rapoza again, and I'm here alone. I sent a message to Dan on Skype, but I think that he is over sending books to Canada, and he's also um, uploading some stuff for the audiobook so he can just send that out to everyone. And I think he's been up all night. So, hey, who knows? I think Dan might be dead too. He might be dead. I'm alone. I'm a widow. I've been widowed. So I got some fresh coffee. I mean, yeah, I put cream in it, but it's not the same thing. Yeah, I have some stories to tell today about lame things that happened, some creeps and stuff. And then I'm also going to do some drawing. I don't know what yet, but we'll figure it out. I never really know what I'm doing. Let me open up a new canvas here. I know you can't see it, but that's what I'm doing right now. Height 5,000 pixels. Width, I don't know, 4,500 pixels. No, it's too boxy. Let's see here. All right. So, thanks for watching on YouTube. If you want to catch this live, go into the description below, and if you're a member of Twitch, you can easily, I think you just follow us on our Twitch channel and you'll get an update when we go live. And yeah, you'll be able to catch us on there, or you can follow me at Dave Rapoza on Twitter, at Dave Rapoza Art on Facebook, and I will update on there and say when I'm about to go live. Probably update like half an hour ahead of time. In a perfect world, an hour ahead of time. So I'll see you there. And if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, that'd be appreciated. Although, to be honest, I don't think the ad revenue really does anything unless you get like 1 million viewers. So going live now. Jump out. Hey everybody, it's Dave Rapoza. I'm here alone today. Dan is working up the lunch boxes, getting them all ready to ship, and the books and everything going to Canada. So yeah, this is kind of a last minute stream for me. So I can imagine why Dan wouldn't be able to make it, because all I did was reach out to him on Skype. If you do see this, Dan, and you're in the chat, I will bring you on. So we'll figure it out. Anyways, how are you all doing? Thank you for all your support last night. I dropped the orc tutorial finally. If you haven't seen it, I got it. I don't know why I just mumbled, but I got the download link below this video here on Twitch. Just below the donate in the YouTube, there's the orc realistic portrait tutorial. It's $10, and yeah, 15 plus hours of straight commentary. It's pretty insane. I somehow managed to do that. I recorded 15 hours of audio straight through. I wrote literally hundreds of notes. I have stacks of paper in my room right now, and it has everything that I wrote for the whole thing. It's insanity. So yeah, that's up right now if you want to go grab it. Or, I'm getting married in September, so if you want to like help me out with like a wedding thing or something, we got the Cream Festival coming up right after the wedding. So if you want to help me support that, because it costs a lot of money, if you could share the orc tutorial on Facebook or Twitter or something, I'd really appreciate it. I would really appreciate that. So, love to you all. You guys got me good with all that cream. I preach. Hey, Cypher. Hey, everybody. Hey, some new names in here. Love the 30-minute breakdown for the orc. And then I finished Stranger Things. Thanks, man. Signalysis. What's up, Dave? No, nothing much. All right. So, I am going to jump into this drawing. W. Lourdes. That's what you're calling your honeymoon, the Cream Festival? Wrong. Wrong. That's not what I'm doing. Don't you dare. As I mentioned before on here, the Cream Festival is this special event that's going to be on Twitch where I get married to all you guys. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? We'll figure it out. Oh, shit. I still got these brushes up. Oh, whatever. What should I draw today? Sorry, I never know what I'm going to draw on here. I just don't. I never know anything. Never know anything about what I'm doing on this. Let's start out with the same kind of thing. Actually, fuck it. Let's do something different today. I don't want to do the same shit. Let's do a character concept. And let's make it like regular lines, because I'm so tired of doing the same garbage every single time. Hey, let's do a portrait. And then let's not finish it because there's not enough time in this. Great idea, Dave. Great garbage idea. You should do that every single time. All right. Jan Drenovec just subscribed. Thank you so much, Jan. You got me. You creamed me. I'm blowing up. Boom. Oh, that was too loud, wasn't it? I'm sorry. Nick Them 91 asks, what's your favorite fast food restaurant? That's easy. It's not fast food. My favorite fast food restaurant, which I don't know, I guess they make it fast, is probably Shake Shack. Shake Shack in New York City, or I mean, I guess it's just on the East Coast, right? That's probably my favorite. All right. Let's do some character stuff. So I'm going to go through what I do when I'm working on character concept art. Ready? Let's do it. My dog is laying on my feet. We won't tell your wife, Dave. Yeah, please don't. Wizard on a Unicorn at Steve Lichman. Do you still use tadpoles for refs in narrow spaces? I mean, yeah, sure. You're referring to something. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes. Draw YOLO Swagwalker. Ask YOLO Swagwalker. Hey, maybe, man. Yo, Dave, that pig you drew last time had quite the luscious mane. I know what you're really saying, Antoine. All right. So, let's see. Let's get into this. I'm not going to look at the chat just for a little bit. I apologize. I'll keep my eyes peeled for subscribers because you guys are you're supporting me like crazy. And I mean, really, there's been a sudden influx of, like we've said on here before, cream. There's been a huge sudden influx of cream from all the people supporting on the Gumroad. That was really cool. So check this out. I'm going to show you something that I like to do in Photoshop whenever I do lines. All right, let's zoom in real quick. So you see this line that I got? Whatever. It's whatever. It's not anything special, okay? But what I like to do when I'm drawing these things, my concepts, is I like to go and, well, let me go back. So I right-click on the new layer, right-click. I click blending options, and then in the blending options, you have all these options here of little effects that you can add to whatever you did on this layer. So I'm going to choose outer glow. and you click on outer glow, and I'm going to choose my foreground color here, just so it's the same color that I'm using for my lines. And I'm going to change the blend mode to normal, and I'm going to turn the opacity way down, and I'm going to make sure that it has like a fuzziness to it. So let's do that in a nice spread. Just a huge solid spread. Right? Is that right, or am I wrong? Yeah, there we go. So you can see that it kind of has like a glow to it. Well, I almost like threw up. You can see that it has like a glow to it, as if it were on like tracing paper. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like a fog. I love the way that looks. So I'm going to be doing that for my concept work. I don't know what's going on with me. I think I got like some hiccups or something. Maybe I'll die. All right, so I'm going to select everything on the canvas, delete it, and then just start. I still have that effect applied to this layer. I didn't delete the layer, just deleted the lines. And now I'm going to start sketching a concept. So concept, all right, let's think about it for a second. I'm probably not going to be taking things from the chat for this one, just because I want to get into the right space. So what am I going to do? Let me think for a second. What's something that I want to do? Let's do something sci-fi, I guess. I just got the Guyver bust I ordered like forever ago. From Elite Creatures or Character, whatever's they're called. I can't remember, but I'm gonna do something like that, like a line arty version of some kind of Guyver-y looking guy, which I know I've done a bunch before, but I love it. I love the Guyver. What are you gonna do? So before I get started, take a look back at the chat. Cthulhu Hoopster asks, so you're a cartoonist, right? Do you do everything in Photoshop? I've been struggling to make a brush that I can ink with. Yeah, I do everything in Photoshop. And I wouldn't necessarily call myself a cartoonist. I kind of just do everything. I paint, I do, I don't know, line art, I do animation stuff. I don't know. I try and keep it varied, but yeah, I don't know. Brush to do inking stuff. I mean, I guess just do some inks and then look it over and try and make sure that you're not missing any of that texture. I would download other people's brushes, like another plug for it. If you download my orc tutorial, it comes with my brushes, but anybody's brushes will do. I mean, if you look through brushes and see if you find something that, you know, like when you play with the settings for it, if it can feel like more of a inky feel to it, then, you know, like shutting off certain settings on some of them, like making them harsher. I don't like to use opacity on my inking brushes. Oh, by the way, one thing that you got to keep in mind with what I'm doing right now is that I do have this set to a multiply layer, that layer with the glow lines and everything. The problem is that I usually use white to delete the darker tones. So like I have my foreground color set to the color that I'm going to do the lines with, and the background set to white. So usually when I do these concepts, I will switch back and forth between those, pressing X on the keyboard to erase everything. But because I have this setting on the canvas, on the layer right there for the canvas, I don't know why I said that. For this image specifically, it's not letting me use the blur on everything. So like if I draw out with that white, it'll make it harder because you can't see the glow because the white's using the glow. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. It's so hard for me to explain dumb shit like that. All right, so I'm going to draw this Guyver looking bat guy. First things first, I always do a really loose sketch, right? I don't really care too much about how this looks. I'm going to keep my forms intact. That's really what I'm focused on. I'm not going into this thinking like, hey, it's got to be perfect. Oh my God, Dave, you're such a garbage drawer. What's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Whatever. Nick them 91 asks, well, actually, there's a few questions before that, but I'll answer yours first. The size isn't bad on the tutorials, but in the future, would you have a low-res version available down the road so it doesn't take up so much space? Yeah, I mean, it takes so long to render the videos. It takes me basically like, I don't know, hours really, all night. But that's why I don't do multiple versions. That being said, on Gumroad right now, you can stream my videos. So if you don't want to download them because they're so huge, you can just go on and stream them and watch them that way. I don't know if you can do that on your phone, but I know it's an option. Wizard on a Unicorn asks, your European friend was making a ref of tadpoles before, and you and Dan were lost on his meaning. Well, I appreciate that clarification. It's very clear now. Christian Benson, are you using a PC now instead of a Mac? Nope, I am still using a Mac. I did use a PC forever before this, and I don't necessarily think that Macs are better. Certainly not in terms of price, but I mean, yeah, whatever. I'm used to it now, and I don't care either way. I could use a PC or I could use a Mac. You know, at the end of the day, I'm still just drawing in Photoshop. As long as it's fast, that's all I care about. That is all I care about. Antoine, Luscious Maine. What are you reading currently? Just picked up Dune and it's amazing. I don't read very many like exciting fantasy books. I'm really into history, so I just finished reading 13 Hours, which is about Benghazi. It's about the GRS operators in Benghazi who were at that like covert CIA compound that was almost taken over by those terrorist dudes. So that was a really good book. I liked it a lot. I definitely I really wanted to learn a lot more about what happened in Benghazi because you hear about it so much. I was like, I want to figure out all the little details. So I went in and just read the book. It was really good. It focused more on like the events, and it wasn't like the whole political angle of like the corruption, whatever. Like, well, how did they spin the Benghazi, the attack? How did they turn that into them bumping up for the election year or whatever? So it was a good book. I would suggest it. It's pretty scary once it gets rolling. But right now, I have jumped from that book to the Wright brothers, which is a pretty recent book. What the hell is the author's name? I can't remember. I just started it like 2 nights ago. So far, I'm not like really deep into it, but it's pretty good. It's just going through like right before they had their big idea. So you might be wondering while I'm doing this, hey, Dave, what the hell? Why don't you do the whole body first? Now, you're right. I probably should. But I haven't yet. Who knows? Who knows why I'm so irresponsible with this? So one thing that I want to repeat over and over, and this is something that I will tell everybody who does any kind of concept arty stuff, okay? Repeat your themes. Repeat everything in your concepts. I know that I didn't make up the Guyver, but I like the Guyver. I'm making up my own little version of the Guyver right now, which probably looks like a billion other versions of him. But for instance, you see this shape here, this one, this kind of like wing thing. There are so many places that you can repeat that design. One of them is going to be on the neck here. So I know that I can take that shape, wrap it around the neck, and then push it back here like that. And I know that I can do it on the shoulders here, like that, and back over here. And it creates this repeated shape that will unify the whole design. And you want to make sure that it's, consistent. If you feel like there's too many random elements going on with this thing, then yeah, it can be a little weird looking. So keep that stuff under control. This dude looks like he's sticking out his belly. Let's reel that in. All right. So this is just the sketch, and I'm going to do final lines over this one. I probably won't do a full body because it'll take probably a little bit more time than I have on here. I plan on streaming on here for just an hour. So I'm always thinking about that shape as I go into this whole thing. Let's do that. Let's just think about the shape. Sorry if I'm not reading the chat. I am, for once on one of these streams, I just want to get some goddamn work done. I want to do it. I want to get the thing finished. It's a race. You might be asking, Dave, what do you think about the anatomy when you're doing this kind of thing? Here's a secret. I don't. I don't really think about it. I've drawn so much that like when I'm doing this, I'm not thinking about it. Like so much of it is wrong, broken, whatever, all this stuff. Like I don't really have a clear idea going into this of exactly what I'm doing, what the pose is going to be, anything. I'm just winging it and using whatever I can find in my head to help bring it all together. Is that too much? Let me see here. All right. Slowly coming together. It'll turn around. You'll see. I'm gonna look back to the chat now. Do you listen to Hardcore History? Asked Cthulhu Hoopster. I do not, but I've heard it before. I might check that out. GG Gluttony asks, do you read the manga Monster? No, I don't. I haven't read a comic like a manga in a long time. Maybe someday. This is the worst. My dog farted in this room, so I got that awesome background smell going on. Thank you so much, whoever just did that. Is either Wiko or Elu. One of you guys reeks like shit. I love it. Marianne Christov asks, Dave, in past streams you talked about anything you want in 48 Laws. Can you recommend some other books which you found useful? I mean, Getting Things Done, that David Allen book was really good, but it's kind of like you need to be I don't know, it wasn't super helpful to me in the beginning when I first started going. It only became helpful to me really as I went. So like, like when we started doing the comic stuff where we like got our business rolling, that's when it became more useful. But yeah, that book's pretty good. But I don't know. Those two are the ones that I'm kind of on right now. I mean, not 48 Laws. I haven't listened or read that long time. That it's pretty good, but it's pretty shallow too. Like the way that they describe things, like I'm sure that it all works and it's not wrong, but it's just so menacing. Like the way that they talk in that book is such like creepy garbage. I don't know. If you've read that book, you know what I'm talking about. They treat business as if it's like this, the war of work kind of thing. It's a little gross. So there's this dude, and I keep seeing him every night. He's so fucking creepy. And I figured I might as well tell you about the other creeps that live around here. So, I mean, I guess Aiden's not a creep, but Aiden is like this 13-year-old boy who lives downstairs and he screams a lot. And he's on vacation right now. So I don't have any Aiden updates. I don't know where they went. Hopefully, they decided that they would have a big group suicide and they're all gone. But there is a dude who lives, I don't know, I guess a couple apartments away from here. And he is such a creep. Every night, like I work probably till, I don't know, 11 every night, right around there, 11 p.m. And then I kind of wind down, hang out, and then I'll go out and walk the dogs at around, let's say, 1 a.m., right? So I go out and walk the dogs around 1 a.m. and between the hours of about 1:30 to 3 a.m., because I've seen him so much, this dude, he is always out there. Like he's okay. So you walk up from the building I'm in, and there's a little hill. You walk up the hill, and there's a sidewalk, and then you turn right, and you look down the path, and you might just see behind a tree around all of the, I don't know if you know, like the electric boxes that are just like above ground kind of thing. They're, like the big ones that are like 4 feet tall by like whatever, 5 feet wide. Those huge ones. Like there's three of them there and they're on a slab of concrete and there's a couple trees around them. So there's this creepy guy, the electric man, who sits out there every night between 1:30 and 3 a.m. And I walk out there and I didn't, because he doesn't make any noise, but he's just in the dark. There's no like street lights on him or anything. But sometimes I see the glow of his phone. But when I don't see the glow of his phone, the only reason I know he's there is because my dog will bark. My dog will look in that direction and bark, and then I see somebody shuffle behind the trees. So this fucking guy, he's so creepy. It's like, why hide from me? It's like he doesn't want me to be, it's like he doesn't want me to find him. I don't know what it is. Like, I see you, man. I see you because you got the phone in your hand. Like he's almost like the other dude who moved out a while ago, but there was this guy who he used to walk out of his apartment and he would, as he walked out of his apartment, like, oh, I just realized I could draw it for you. I don't even need to like fully explain this. Okay. So this is the dude's door, right? This is the other guy that used to live here. And there's the whatever roof part, and there's a beam here. Here's the sidewalk, and this is the other sidewalk. So if you walk down here, you go to my home, right? And then if you go the other way, there's a sidewalk here, and here are the beautiful cars that look like pigs. So this is the parking lot. You see? Right here. I will be literally right here. Hello. And I'll be walking my dog, right? This is my dog. Like a spider. And then this dude will walk out of his apartment, right? He'll stand right here, and then he'll put his back to this wall right here. He has this whole thing to keep this in mind. He could walk down this way and go to his car right here. But he turns, sees me, right? I've never said anything to this dude. Never, ever. I've never threatened him. Never nothing. I'm not intimidating. And then he hugs the wall like this, with his body literally pressed against this wall. And then he walks this way, hugs the corner, right? And he just wraps around this corner and then walks out to the parking lot there. Like literally like he's sneaking around like Solid Snake. That's what he looks like. Is the creepiest shit I've ever seen. So creepy. And I can draw you the Electric Man too. So here I am, right? Hello. And this is the sidewalk. All right. These are the electric boxes over here. This is the electric boxes. And then here are the trees around it. There's a tree over here. Tree over here. And then over here is the street. See what I'm saying? This dude will be right here. Hiding. He'll be hiding. And I turn, I'll be like looking this way. Hello. Ha 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 ha. And my dog's over here. And my dog will go, what the fuck is that? And it'll go, woof. I'll write that here. Woof. And then I will suddenly turn around. Huh? What was that? You know what I'm saying? And then he goes back here and hides behind this tree. He hides behind this tree. And he sits there, and I'm like, dude, I could throw a rock at you. That's how close you are to me. I still see you, man. It's a pine tree. It's pine needles. I can see right through those needles to your glowing phone. And yeah, that's just what it is. I'm pretty sure he's like, I don't know. The bad part of my brain immediately goes to, he's probably talking to somebody he shouldn't be. He probably waits till his family goes to sleep and goes out there in the wilderness and talks to whoever. Something like that. But I don't know. It's just like, it's not super weird. It's not as weird as the dude. I'm not even done drawing because a lot of you guys don't know this other story. So the Electric Man, he's a dude that was there, whatever. And then there's this other guy who is, I mean, I don't have a nickname for him. I guess we'll just call him the fucking creep. That's all he is. All right. So I saw this dude. I'm glad. I don't know why I never thought to draw these stories, because that's what I should have been doing this whole time. So here is the sidewalk across from me. So I'm like here, and this is all grass, right? So here is the sidewalk. There's some trees, whatever, over here, and some gravelly stuff. Okay, so this neighbor is the upstairs across from me, and this is the down. This guy lives up here with his mom. He's like older, late 40s, whatever. He was always weird. He would, I'd catch him. He'd walk out of this door. I'd be standing right here, like I said. He'd walk out of this door, walk up to this door, right? He'd knock, and then he would just turn and walk away. And I was like, that's really weird. Why would you just do that when you're that old? Like I get it, little kids knock on a door, run away. This guy's not a little kid. He's an older man. So he'd knock on the door, and then this dude, he'd do this. He'd open up the door. His head would be right here. He'd be like, huh? What? And then he'd turn to me and go, well, hi? And I'd be like, yeah, no, man, I didn't knock on your door. It was like that 40-year-old man who just drove away in his car really fast. And I was like, yeah, that's weird. That's a weird thing to do. Why would you do that? So I was like, yeah, I don't like this guy. He's a bit of a creep. What can I do? I'm not going to say anything. He's not doing anything scary. But then all of a sudden, he did a scary thing. So this guy who lives here, he has kids, a bunch of kids, right? He has a bunch of little kids. And yeah, like I think it's weird if you're some older guy who lives here with your mom and you're messing with the person who lives here with all the kids. But maybe they're loud, maybe you're just like doing some weird petty thing. I don't know. But one day it's 1 a.m., something like that. And if you've been here on the stream before, you know this story because I said it pretty much like right after it happened. I'm up here, up on this hill here on the sidewalk. The electric man's over there. And it's dark out, so he can't see me over here. He doesn't know I'm in the dark right here. What I see, though, is at around 1:30 in the morning, this guy walks out of his room, out of this upstairs apartment. He goes around, and he comes to the door. And I'm from a distance, so I'm thinking, like, what is this dude doing? So he's standing here, and he's holding something up, right in front of his face. And he's just like literally a foot from the door. Like his body is a foot from the door. He's right in front of it. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, what is he doing? So I come around a bit, and I'm over here now. I'm looking over at this dude, and he just has his camera out, and he's just videotaping this guy's front door. And I was like, well, that's just too weird. He filmed it for like 2 minutes. And I just sat in the dark watching him, like telling my dog not to bark. I'm like, you better not give us up. I'll lose my shit. So I see this guy doing this, and I go up to the dad who lives in this place. The next day, me and Kim do, and I stop him in the parking lot, and I'm like, hey, man, I don't know how to tell you this or why this is weird. And I was like, but there's this guy who lives above you, and he's been coming to your front door. And I kind of saw him last night, just like, I don't know, videotaping the door. I was like, so if that freaks you out or anything, I just figured I'd let you know, because if I had kids, I'd want to know about it. You know what I mean? And he just went, he's a really soft-spoken guy. He just went, oh, okay. And then he left. And I was like, that's it? You're just okay with that? But yeah, that's just something weird. Something weird that happened. That's a few of the weird people, whatever. Just a little bit out there. A little bit strange. All right. Back to the Guyver. Back to the Guyver. Let me zoom in here and start to do some final lines. GG Gluttony asks, I have a good question. Why would you go out in the dark? Because sometimes you gotta. Sometimes you gotta brave the darkness. No, I don't know. I'm not scared of these people. I just think they're weird. It's like, well, okay. I'll say this. The guy who hides behind the trees, I definitely started to bring a knife around at night. So I'm like, I'm not going to stab anybody, but it just feels better to have a knife. Oh, I have a terrible story to tell you guys. I totally forgot about this. By the way, if you're just joining us, I've released a new tutorial. It's my orc tutorial. It's 15 hours, 5-part video, basic breakdown included. The PSD is there with full layers, all this stuff. You can download it right now. It's only $10. It's below the video here. If you scroll down, there's the orc realistic portrait tutorial. You just click there and it will help support me. I'd really appreciate it. Got a wedding coming up, so if you could share it, I'd appreciate that too. I love you all, and thank you so much. Okay, on to the next story. So, here we go. Really, this happened like yesterday. So, all right, yesterday. I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know why you would, but let's just say I sleep naked. All right. So I'm sleeping naked, right? I'm alone and I don't have my phone in the room with me, okay? I don't have my phone. I can't get updates on what's going to happen in a couple minutes. I'm sleeping. It's late. I shouldn't have slept in so late. It's like 11. You know what I mean? What am I doing? I got to get my shit together. So it's like 11 a.m. and I'm delirious. The door is shut. We have the AC on, so the fan's running, so it's hard to kind of hear everything. All right. And my dogs suddenly start barking, but they do that sometimes. If they hear some shit outside, they might start barking because somebody might be mowing a lawn, whatever, right? If that happens, I just go like, shut up, and I'm just half asleep, like, please, will you shut up? And I'm laying there and I fall back asleep, right? But they keep on barking and I hear voices and I'm like, what the hell? Why am I hearing voices? And all of a sudden there are people in my apartment. I'm naked and they're in the living room. They are right outside of my door. And I'm in like, I'm just in the bedroom with two dogs. And I just hear them talking to each other. And I go, what the hell is this? And I'm half awake. I'm totally dead tired. So I gather hearing the voices that, oh, these are the people that like own the apartment complex. They're here for some reason that I don't know why, right? Like, I don't know why they're here right now. I have no idea. I'm just like, there's people in the apartment. So what am I going to do, right? Like, I can't get up. Like, I can't get up and go like, oh, hey, what's going on? I'm just here naked, right? The problem is that I have a window. Like, okay, so the head of the bed, right behind my head, is the wall. And on that wall is a big window. And in that big window, we have blinds, but they're up a little bit because my dog likes to look out the window, whatever. And right outside of that window is our deck thing, like our little porch that, you'd have a grill on, whatever. But also on that deck is the closet to look at our water heater, right? So that's why they're there. I gather that. I go, okay, so that's why they're here. They're here for the water heater. So I'm sitting in bed and they're right outside the window. Like, they can see in the window. And I'm thinking, well, I didn't get up to answer the door. And I didn't get up when they came inside. So I hope they don't just see a man sitting in silence in a bed trying to make believe like he's not there. Because that would be really stupid. And I'm just sitting there and I kind of like peek out the window when I hear that they go into the closet. So I get up, I run to my bedroom closet, I put on some clothes, and then I'm thinking to myself, well, it's been about 10 minutes and they've been working on that water heater the whole time. Do I just suddenly walk out of this room with all my clothes on and be like, hey guys, I've been listening to you talk shit about my apartment and it being messy. What's up? I've been home the whole time. Like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm just hiding, but I am. And I don't know what to do. So I literally just sat in the closet in silence for another like 15 minutes without my phone, petting my dogs as if I were in a safe room and there were murderers in the house. So that's what happened. You know, just a nice, embarrassing story. They all left. I felt really stupid and I just got out. And I was just like, dope. See you guys. See you guys later. There was a man in the house the whole time. Have a good one. So that's it. I know it's it's nothing special, but it happened. And I figured you guys should know. Nice and dumb. So hey, what up? Let's get back to this Guyver, guys. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess my girlfriend had sent me a text and said, "Hey, Dave, just warning you, people are coming." Jan Dranevic donated $10. What? Thank you so much. You're so beautiful. You're keeping me alive. You're creaming me. Cream. Thank you for supporting me. You're invited to the digital wedding. Ugh. Ugh. So that's what's up, guys. I don't know. Whatever. You know how it goes. Sometimes you're just naked in a closet. All right, let's keep doing this Guyver shit because I don't know how much time. What is going on? Why is this shit lagging? I'm going to shrink this down real quick because this isn't great. Let me turn this down. All right. Maybe this will work better. Okay. Looks like it's working better. All right. Antoine asks, Dave, I gotta know, how tall are you, dude? I'm like 5'8". I'm not very tall. That's why I'm able to hide in closets. So there you go. Cthulhu Hoopster. In my state, landlords have to give 24-hour notice before they show up on the property and walk into your apartment. They did give notice, just not to my phone. Kim knew about it. I totally didn't. Oh, man. How did it feel to come out of the closet, Dave? I mean, solid gay joke, but I mean, I was naked in the closet. I was more naked and afraid than I was gay. But it felt good to come out of there and finally confront my I didn't confront my fears. It felt good to come out and feel safe. I'll say that. Ugh. Yeah, there is a dog here hitting my leg right now. Okay. So this is usually what I do. Okay, I've taken this layer that I had the sketch on and I just duplicate it so the effects are still working on it, and then I deleted everything and now I'm just gonna draw again. Carson Druitt just subscribed. Thank you so much, Carson. You beautiful human being. You did it. You're invited to the wedding. You got me creamed up. Cream me up, Scotty. You did it. Boom. I am alive today. Thank you so much. So I think the thing isn't working so much now. Let me make this a little smaller. Yeah. There we go. That's a little better, I think. We'll see. So give me a second to zone out and get some kind of work done. Let us get something done today. Because I did say I would try and actually finish something. Did I just say something? I think I did. That's how you know I'm a good public speaker. Oh, man. So I hope that those of you who got the tutorial liked it. It's been going pretty good. I mean, I spent a ton of time on the thing, so I'm just happy that it's out and finally able to be purchased. I spent 5 days or something like that just rendering the whole thing. It's nuts. I'm still new to using Adobe Premiere. So it was like kind of shocking to me to be like, oh my God, it's going to take that long to finish all these. I guess it's just because there's such long videos, but I wasn't expecting it. I just like had to leave them on overnight every night after they were all edited together. Jamal Troll asked or said I was actually surprised to find a dick in one of the old brush packs. Well, I'm glad you were surprised. All right. All right, let's get in here. Yeah, you could thank Kim because she told me, she said, you got to tell that story of you being in the closet to the stream. You just have to. I was like, all right. Okay, I will. I mean, if the theme of this is just for me to embarrass myself, I'm down. I got tons of stories like that. All right. Nayut says, who the fuck is supposed to work through a 15-hour tutorial in one day, dude? The cream team. What are you talking about, man? The cream team. Ricky Martinez says, Dave, what are your thoughts on Mr. Concept Art? Oh, I love Mr. Concept Art. Mr. Concept Art is one of the best things ever. I mean, I think that artists can be a little too serious, so I love that. Antoine, Luscious Maine, thank you so much for donating. You are just, I don't know, it's like you got an intravenous of cream going right into my body right there. That's not even a subscription, that's a donation. What? So, thoughts on Mr. Concept Art? I like him a lot. I think that it's needed. I mean, I thought it was crazy. I don't know if anybody knows anything about, Mr. Concept Art, or if you care about concept art. But Mr. Concept Art is this dude, and he is basically just satire for how everything in the concept art industry tends to look the same. So it's making fun of that, like people with, like his whole thing is you put a toaster on the head of a character and you go, it's a finished concept. Look at that. I did a great job designing that. And it's just, using photos and all that, like the fast food approach. And I love that. What was crazy is that he got booted from whatever that site's called that I can't remember the name of. ArtStation. Yeah, he got booted from ArtStation. And that's just so fucking sad. So sad that like you can't take a joke. You got banned because somebody made fun of you. Like, oh my God. I don't want to live in a world like that. It's one of the reasons why I was considering posting on that site. But after that happened, I was like, no, I'm never going to support this ever. This is so fucking lame. Like, you really can't take a joke. Like, really. That made me mad. But yeah, he's needed because you can't take this shit so seriously. It's just not a serious thing. It's like, what, you paint monsters? Like, who gives a shit? Who really cares? So fucking dumb. It's just like, I don't know. Like, if that's your solution to getting made fun of, then like, welcome to the real world. Like, that's not how you solve your problems. He made fun of me, so I told him you can't come over anymore. You gotta talk to people. And by banning people like that, you're saying, hey, this bothers me. And look how much it bothers me. I had to ban them. It's like, that's pretty sad. Yeah, I should have figured out this sketch a bit more, huh? Let me get in here and start adding in some more lines underneath. All right. But yeah, he's funny. If you don't know Mr. Concept Art, I suggest you look him up. All right. Sunny boy, why cream? Why not soup or jello, Kappa? Nah, it's cream. It's cream or nothing. Omature. Do you think the most difficult part of the design creation is in the sketch or the final line stages? Everyone seems to think that the initial sketch is the most creative stage, but it leaves so many things vague and undesigned that it doesn't sound right. I mean, it depends on your sketch. But for me, yeah, the sketch is the most important part. You want to get all your major information down as far as like what's going to be in this throughout the rest of the process, because if you leave it too vague, then you kind of get into a bad habit of like making shit up as you go, and that can be a detriment to working. Like, I want to be deliberate in the things that I do. So if I'm doing like a piece for a client, I want to know that I can follow through when I have my sketch phase completed. So yeah, I mean, I think the sketch is the most important part, and it depends on the artist, because some artists have, more detailed sketches. Like when I do watercolor stuff, my sketches are like 100%, rendered out. Like I have everything figured out for those. So yeah, depends. Like in Photoshop, you have the benefit that you don't need to like nail everything down. You don't need to have it all figured out. I mean, it's a benefit, but it can also be a detriment in the in the way that like it makes you lazy. But yeah, Dan is in the chat. Dan, hey, Dan is currently sending out all the books to Canada. So all praise the Daniel. He's on the other side of the country. I'm in Colorado. He's in Rhode Island. Or right now he's in Massachusetts sending out all the books. So thank you, Daniel. Beautiful man. All the lunch boxes are also going to be getting ready to go out, and then it all starts over with book 2, which the Kickstarter starts in October, the beginning of October. So look out for that. And if you're interested in grabbing either the first Steve Lichman book or the new one, please sign up for our mailing list, and you can do so by going to stevelichman.com. And when you're on that site, there'll be a little white bar. You just put your email address in there, and we'll send you an update when everything's available. Thank you. You're beautiful. All right. Let me see here. Antoine asks, have you ever had to put one or more lens flares per request of client? And what is the max amount of lens flares you've ever had to put in an image? No, I've never been asked to add lens flares. I'm just, I just don't work for those people, you know what I mean? That's a person-to-person stylistic preference. And it is not my style. All right. Okay, let's get into this. So I'm going to be slightly quieter for a few. And I'm going to see how far I can get into this. So watch me just shut up for a second and make some progress. Because otherwise, nothing will get done. Nothing will ever get done. I wish I had like my own theme song right now. Something to play in the background that could hype me up. Maybe Duo Maxwell's theme. If there's any cool people in the chat who know what I'm talking about. My fingers are burning red. Dude has a super vaginal face. I don't know if anybody else is checking this guy out, but he has some serious vagina face. Okay. Yeah, this is the point where I would say, listen to music or something. All right. So this isn't very tight with the lines. I wish I was doing more with that, but it's okay. I would just do, I mean, if this were a client piece, I would really go in and make sure we're all rendered out. I mean, figured out. So if this were, you know, the lines in this piece for a client, I would make sure that I had it figured out. So I would do, you know, I would do the sketch I had underneath this. I would do a second pass on this sketch. And then that would pretty much be it for the sketch phases. And then I would go in and do the final drawing on another layer. So it'd probably be like 3 sketches before it was totally done. I see that Dan is talking to you guys about book 2 in the chat. If you have ever wondered what it's like to write and draw, do all that stuff like we've been doing, a 400-page book in like under a year, well, you're just going to have to find out for Steve Lichman book 2, which is coming pretty soon. In the tutorial, I talk a lot about new normals, and this is one of those where we've just decided that we're going to do a new book every year. We're going to have a new book available every single year. Does it matter that it's 400 pages? No. It doesn't matter. We just have to get it done. We have to do the best work we can possible and become the kind of people that can do that, because there are people on Earth that can do that, so why not us? You know what I mean? I used to hear that thing about Jack Kirby all the time, about how he would do like, you know, I mean, obviously his stuff is really cool and expressive and not even close to the simplified shit that I do in my drawings. But he would do like 3 pages a day or something like however many pages a month. I forget what it was. That's been my goal for a while. I've been trying to do, well, I've managed to do about 60 pages a month. So trying to keep that up. Keep that goal going, you know what I mean? If there's other people in the world that can do it, why not you? You know, you got to try and do that with everything, because can't hold yourself back or let yourself, you know, limit yourself by whatever you think you can do. You just have to try and do something you don't think you can do until it becomes a regular part of your life. Totally believe in that. I think it's how you get better, just deciding that something is what it is. So that's what's going on now. It is the new world. It is the new world. Oh, man. Hypo the Tickow. Oh, wow. I'm so retarded. Hypothetical. Just subscribed. Thank you so much, you beautiful person. Boom, I got cream. Oh, I don't know. This whole thing with the tutorial and everybody subscribing, the donations, I feel like Bukkake over here. Like I'm just all over me. You know what I mean? How do you keep it going? How do you do it? Hopefully I can use some of that money to pay off the man, the electric man. I can get him to go away. Whew. That would be good. Pay Aiden and his family to move out. Maybe hire a murderer. Something like that. Who knows? Anything's possible. Yeah, I want to do that, Dan. I've been on here for about an hour. I'm going to fly through this, and then if this gets somewhere near the done, then I am just going to get off real quick, jump into the comics and get into that. I'm not tired. I'm just zoned out on this piece. I've been telling stories on here. I haven't even told Dan the stories I told you guys because they just happened. I'm going to get off of here in a minute and then tell Dan the stories. But the next time we come on, it'll be both of us. I just did this really last minute because I want to make sure that we're on here, you know, as much as possible, hanging out with all you beautiful people. You're beautiful. I really love it. And not vanish off and do our own thing, because I do the comic pretty much all night, and in the day I do whatever I can to catch up to the rest of the world. So before I jump off of here, I'm going to do some quick colors to show you what this would have liked had I finished everything. But I think that the next time I'm on here with Dan, I will go through this and actually finish this piece, because I like doing the lines. I like doing the line work like this, and you know, I want to edit this guy's face and make sure he's not super wonky looking like he is right now. His face is a little wide. That's the problem, I think. He doesn't have all the same features as the regular Guyver. But let's just say I were to have done this for like a piece, right? You know? I were to have finished this for a client, what would I do next? So I'd turn off my layer below, and then I would jump into it like this. All right, let's go in and add in some base colors. Let's do a Guyver that doesn't exist. I don't know, let's play around with colors till we find something that's cool. Let us do something cool. And I do this for my concepts because I think it's a quicker way for a client to get something that feels a bit more complete without having to be painted, because most of the time I'm hired to do painted things. But the problem with that is, in order to get to a place that feels even remotely complete, it's going to take me hours to get there. So with this approach, I can start out with a completely realized character, and then, you know, they can approve it or not, and then I can move into the other stages of working it up in an illustration. And because it doesn't take me very long, like if I weren't streaming and talking to you, like I could do a concept in a relatively short amount of time. Probably, I don't know, probably do like 4 or 5 of these a day, which is what I used to do. All right, so let us color balance this guy. Let's find some Guyvery look for him. Do you want to do like a red Guyver? Cream colored Guyver? All right, let's go with this kind of thing. Okay. And then start. Okay, so what I just did is I have this layer sitting underneath my line layer. And what I do is I just render this down, right? So I render this down. I fill all this in, and then I will go layer, new layer, and then use previous layer to create a clipping mask. So now this one is attached to this one. So now when I go in and I choose a new color, let's say I'm going to do some of the, you know, little glass balls that are on them. I can draw and it'll only affect the immediate layer underneath it. So there you go. Zach Beef just subscribed for 2 months in a row. What? Thank you so much. You're beautiful. You did it. Cream. Boom. I'm alive because of you. Don't forget about the digital wedding that's coming up, because you're coming to it. Now you're double invited. You were invited before. Now you're double invited. So get ready for that. Okay. Here I go. Just kind of filling in all the metal parts that are going to be on the Guyver. So he has all like these little metal balls all over his head. I don't know why. I don't know. Who knows? What are you going to do? And I can adjust all of these things separately, I don't need to like stick to it and keep it all the same color, because they're all going to be on different layers. So I don't need to worry too much about it, having it exact. So I keep this on a layer, right? And I'm going to make a new layer underneath that one that I just had, because I'm going to go and just do this, and it sits right underneath. I just make a new layer while clicking on the base, and it sits underneath the one I just did with the balls. All right, let's get into it. Let's do his eyes. So the eyes are going to be kind of like a complementary color, but we can adjust that as well. It doesn't need to be anything specific. But you want the eyes to be a point of contrast, a focal point in your image, because people naturally look at other people's eyes. And you'll do that with most things, right? All right, we got that. Now make another layer. And this one is going to be all the places that aren't specifically armor. And I'm going to make those darker and less saturated. And you can see it's starting to break it up a little bit, starting to separate the sections, starting to maybe kind of come together a little. If this were a full concept, I don't know, we'd be doing all right. We'd be doing all right. Sorry to not see all of the chat messages. I'm going to look back right now, answer them from top to bottom. So how was that? Zabovictor asks, Dave, how to deal with frustration I get whenever my image doesn't match the quality of the reference. Okay, how do I deal with the frustration of not being able to match your reference? I find that using a reference takes away from the enjoyment of drawing and sense of accomplishment. Also, I come across a lot of cool illustrations which set the bar for me, but not necessarily consider that the artist might have used a reference and just assume that it's skill. So basically, I set an impossible bar for myself. How do I deal with these frustrations? Well, here's what I do. I always would study for myself. So here's the thing with matching reference and all that. I don't use reference. I don't use reference for my realistic stuff. I might make like a clay model or something just to get an idea of what I'm going for as far as the lighting goes, like where the drop shadows are. But even then, I don't do that now. It was something I did to kind of get a grasp on, how to set up a realistic lighting scenario and get a better idea on cast shadows. But I don't use references, and a lot of artists, if they do use references, but they have a stylized look, they are pretty liberal with how they use them. They're not like following them 100%. Basically, you want to get to the place that you can get to with your level. So wherever you're at in your work as far as you can, until you hit a wall personally. You go, okay, this is the limit to my knowledge. I have hit a wall and I can't go beyond this. Then I would suggest getting reference, because you've already established that you have a weak point, right? So you get to that place and you go, okay, I know what I need to work on. And then you just start studying those things. And after you've studied those things, you're going to want to apply that, because it's one thing to, do a study of just like some car or whatever, and it's another thing to apply a study to something that you're actually doing. Like, you want to have a real use for whatever the study is, because you'll lose it. Think about a language. Like, let's say you're taking Spanish in high school, and then you don't speak Spanish for the rest of high school. Do you really think you're going to be able to speak Spanish 20 years from then? Like, no. Like, when it matters and there's somebody, a Spanish speaking person in front of you, no, you needed to have been using that knowledge the whole time. So think about it like that. Like, when you go into doing a study, it has to be a study that is going to inform the thing that you do from your imagination. So do a study that has to do with whatever thing you're working on. And after you do that study, apply it to the piece that you're using, like the piece that you're going to use it on, and apply what you've learned. And when you have a real application of what you've learned, then it starts to stick with you. And if you do that enough, you'll no longer need to rely solely on reference. You won't need to just have photos and have everything be perfect every single time you go into something. That's my bit of suggestion, is to just apply your studies all the time. So, okay, I have gone in and I've rendered some stuff. Why do I keep saying that? I just colored some shit. I've been coloring this. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all I've been doing. I color. All right. And now I'm going to start adjusting my colors. So my top layer is this, glass ball thing, and then the eyes, and then the under part. So I want the balls to not stand out so much. I don't want them to look like pearls. So let us adjust the brightness of those, the saturation of those, maybe the color a little bit. And there we go. That already looks a little better than that. And then I'm going to go into the eyes here, and I'm going to adjust those. I don't necessarily want them to be like neon green. So I'm going to go in, adjust the saturation on those. And there we go. That's a little better than what I had. And then on the head, let us go into that, just the base layer that I have. I'm going to adjust this, bump up the saturation a bit. Yeah, cool red Guyver guy. Good. That looks a little bit better. And then the under part, and we should be good. We should be good. All right. So I have all of those on layers attached to each other, right? So now I'm going to do my shadow layer. So if you looked at this and you go, okay, those eyes are glowing. So what would be an effective lighting scenario? Now you could do a lot with this, but what I would suggest, if you have something like this and the eyes are glowing, then you want those to be a bit in shadow, because they'll pop more and you'll get more of the contrast. With that being said, you probably wouldn't want to have those be affected by the shadow necessarily. So I'm going to take this eye layer and I'm going to drag it above the metal ball layer there. So I'm going to make a new layer between those two, between the eyes and the metal. And this is my basically like top of all of this kind of thing. I'm going to turn this layer into a multiply layer. And now I'm going to think about the lighting scenario. So what color do I want the secondary light source to be? So right now, the primary light is hitting this character. So he has a warm kind of lighting to him. So a good contrast to that would be cool, or you could do the complementary color of, I could go with like a cooler green shadow, whatever, and it'll help make the rest pop. It won't make the eyes pop necessarily, so that might be an issue, but let's try that and see if it works. Let us try that. So I'm going to choose a solid brush, one that doesn't have an opacity thing to it. And I'm going to go in and I'm just going to choose, let's say like a cooler green mid-tone here. I don't want to go too dark, too light. So let's go in. So I'm just going to put this area in shadow here. And let's see if this looks like anything. Yeah, it's looking okay. I'm probably going to need to like up the saturation on it and adjust the background color there for the overall image. But I like this approach because I can change the lighting over and over and over. If this were a painting, I'd have a hard time doing that and seeing what it might actually look like if it were finished. So I like doing this because it's easier to plan ahead and see if something's going to work with the overall image. So now that I have this kind of basic lighting setup, I can go in and adjust the color of this light. So this is on its own layer. So now I can go and do some color adjustment. Let me just add a little bit more here. All right. So I just go to my image adjustments. Let's go to like hue saturation. I can just take this slider and just go between colors and see what looks better or worse. So that actually feels a little better over here. I'm going to adjust that a bit. Up the saturation. So you can see the difference there. And this is just a really basic approach to this because, you know, I can do all kinds of things to emphasize everything. I can go in and adjust the background there and make an adjustment layer. You know, turn the brightness down here. Change the colors. And then I can add in some side lighting and things like that. So if I do side lighting, I might just make a new layer. Select the background and then bump up with something, some lighter color, some cool light coming in to define these edges over here. And I'll do things like this just to make something feel a bit flashier, a bit more like complete if they don't necessarily like my straight up lines approach. Like if I'm working for a client, I mean. But to me, it takes away a bit from the rest because the lighting is dramatic for the eyes, but let's just not think about that for now. Jumpman565, 100% Oreo cream. You're right, man. You got me. Thank you so much. 2 months in a row, you subscribed. I love you for that. Thank you for just helping us out. Really appreciate it. You're beautiful. You cream me. Again, double invitation. You're coming to the wedding. Dan is in the chat, but he is currently packing up some boxes to, well, shipping right now. They're all packed to go to Canada. And then, yeah, shipping out lunch boxes and things for all of our Steve Lichman fulfillment stuff. He's in across the country making it all happen. Beautiful Dan. Other effects, let's just go in. I'm going to drop in a little glow on the eyes here, and then I should be popping off of here. Let's go in and just see what that would be. A little bit of a darker area too on the wrist. But yeah, anyway, I am just about ready to go back into doing some more Steve Lichtman comics. Thank you so much for everybody coming over here to hang out. Thank you for all of the subscribes, the resubscribes, the donations. You've done it. You made us happy people. You're beautiful. You creamed me. I hope you liked all the dark stories I told on here. It was pretty dark. Thanks for all the support. You know, everybody who purchased the tutorial last night and today. I really appreciate that. And if you missed it, I got a 15-hour tutorial covering my entire portrait painting process. And you can download that below the video here. If you scroll down, there should be a link to the Orc Realistic Portrait tutorial. It's 15 plus hours. It's $10. If you want to support and you want 15 hours of full commentary, then please, you know, send some money our way and I will be able to pay for a wedding. And if you want to help even more, you could share it on Facebook or Twitter or wherever, and I would be eternally grateful. Because, hey, life is what it is. And support is the only way I'll survive. So thank you so much. And if you want to get the Steve Lichtman book, again, you can go to stevelichtman.com, subscribe to the newsletter. We'll let you know when the Kickstarter launches. And we'll give you updates when new products are available, because we got book 1 and book 2 coming out for the next Kickstarter. You'll be able to get both of them. We'll sign all of the book 2s, and the second edition of book 1 won't be signed, but hey, it's second edition, you know what I mean? You missed the boat. What can I say? Love to all of you. Hope you have a good night, good day, whatever. And please follow the Twitch stream here if you want to check it out. If you missed this stream, it'll be up on YouTube soon. So below here, you see the YouTube link below the video. You can click there and yeah, I'll be up on there. But thanks so much and goodbye. Hello, YouTube. What's up? It's Dave. I'm back again. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just appreciate you guys. So what have you been doing? And I hope you like the story. It's pretty gross. About, I mean, me in the closet, the electric man and all that stuff. It's just like things like that keep happening. I don't know what it is. Does it have something to do with being like older? Like the dumber things happen to you as you get older? I wouldn't even say dumber things. I guess dumb things have always happened. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just sitting here with coffee. It's crazy to do like these talks I've been on here for an hour and a half now. It seems like it's a lot, you know what I mean? Like it seems like it takes a while. It's weird. I'm not like super used to it yet, and I always burn out. I got my voice dies a little bit. And I'm pretty sure that coffee doesn't really do much to help. But yeah, I really appreciate you watching on YouTube. If you'd like, please subscribe. And again, any help is appreciated. If you want to help share the tutorial, I would seriously appreciate that. Like that would mean a lot to me because, again, weddings and we had all the issues with book 1 of Steve Lichtman. We had to pay tons of money out of pocket, and it's just been insane. So I'd appreciate it. If not, I definitely appreciate you watching this, following along with the Twitch streams. It's been really cool. I love that people are following along and actually participating and donating and subscribing. I really never thought any of that would happen. I didn't think it was like a possible thing for the stream, but it's happening. It's really crazy. I hope it keeps going. I hope it grows. And my love goes out to you. I hope you're having a good night, good day. I hope this helped you get through whatever you were doing. If you're working or you just needed something to listen to, or you're driving, I appreciate you. And talk to you again soon. Goodbye.